What's the difference between opinion, belief, and faith? If you were to describe an ice cream you're having, let's say strawberry ice cream, and somebody asks you, how is it? What word would you use? Would you say, in my opinion, it's good? I believe it's good. Or you say, I have faith strawberry ice cream is good. Normally, what would you use? Just think about that for a minute. And now, let's come to the next question. Let's say somebody asks you about the performance of a certain actor in a movie. You watched a movie, you liked it, or maybe you didn't like it, and somebody asks you, well, how do you think the acting was? Do you like that guy? Do you think that he acted well in that movie? What word would you use? Belief, opinion, or faith? And third question. If I asked you about your religious belief, assuming that you have some notion of religion, or maybe if not your religious belief, if you don't subscribe to religion, or you don't believe in the concept of theism or God, if you have, maybe you've got a notion about political ideologies, and somebody asked you, do you have a particular what do you think about that? What do you think about communism? What do you think about capitalism? And I would still say my favorite question is, what do you think about that religious belief? I am using the word belief. Do you say, I believe in religion, I believe in God, I have faith in God, or in my opinion, God exists? Would you use the same words that you use for the strawberry ice cream to describe the skill of an actor and to your religious belief with the same word? Normally, people don't. Why? Let's try and understand what are the similarities and what are the differences between these, when we are using these words. So, one thing, all of them have an element of doubt. All of them allow for a second opinion, a third opinion, or more opinions. Because if they didn't, there wouldn't be opinion or belief or faith. I mean, for instance, if I've got a hair clip over here, right? Now, if I ask you, what's this? You'll say, oh, this is a hair clip. I believe, yeah, it's a hair clip. Assuming you know how to use it, it's a hair clip, right? So, you'll just describe. Now, this is a fact. It's solid. You can see it. You can touch it. I'm assuming this is not an AI video and I'm not an AI avatar. This is a real hair clip, okay? What word would you use? This is a fact. It's a tangible object, right? You will say, I know this is a hair clip. Okay, this is a hair clip. There's no debate about this. You're holding a pen or a chappal or a shoe or something like that. You'll just describe that this is this particular object. You don't have to say, I have faith this is a hair clip. But you have to say, I have faith that there is God. Or I have faith in this particular religion. Or I really believe in this particular religious story or mythical story. Why do you not use that? Why is a mythical story not a fact? It's not tangible. It's not history. We have a lot of arguments about history also. So myths are somewhere, they have some elements of history according to, but it will depend on your belief. One person will say, what is this nonsense? And the other will say, how dare you call it nonsense? That's why we have wars, because of differing beliefs. So first thing to understand is that when we are using words like opinion or belief or faith, they are not facts. They are not obvious. So doubt, second opinion, or multiple opinions are inherent in the usage of these terms. That's something we have to understand and become aware of. Because very often we just say, you think your faith is truth, is absolute. It's not. One man's terrorist is another man's hero. Okay? That's why we have, you take up the same person in history and you look at different textbooks in warring countries, you find very different opinions expressed, very different accounts given about the same person. We're not getting into history or anything like that right now, but we are trying to understand what's the difference. So first main commonality between faith, belief, opinion, there is the element of doubt. I can't repeat that often enough. Okay, and how would you understand that? By contrasting it with fact. Now, let's try a couple of exercises. I'm going to ask you, maybe you can try to get a notebook and pen. And what you do is you take a stock of your life, write down very quickly 50 statements about anything about your life, anything at all. And then at the end of it, try to qualify. It should be about your life, what you live, how you think, what's around you, something that touches your life. Okay, so you may write down 50 statements or even questions for that matter, and then highlight how many of these are opinions, how many of these would you qualify as faith, how many of these are beliefs, and how many of these would be just facts. We're not even dwelling into facts right now, because we think we understand what facts are. So let's just assume for the moment, let's give ourselves a benefit of that, and let's assume that we actually know what facts are. Let's say that they are unchangeable, obvious, ascertained notions of knowledge, notions of what we see. But beliefs aren't, opinion isn't, and neither is faith. So because one man can have one faith about one thing, and the other man can have a faith about which is opposite to that. So now let's try and understand, why are we dealing with them in all one stream? What's the difference? The commonality is the commonality is the doubt. So what's different? The difference is that an opinion would possibly have lesser element of doubt, yes, but as the doubt increases, as it becomes subtler, more nebulous, more difficult to ascertain, okay, the emotional investment is more. You are more emotionally charged when you say, I have faith. I am not going to bang on the table and say, I have faith, this is a table. It's obvious it's a table. You can see it, touch it, feel it, put water on it, whatever. But what would you do about a faith? You have belief about X religion, and somebody else will make fun of it. Oh, they'll say, I've got this other notion. Somebody will have disrespect for a certain religious scripture. Another will have absolute reverence because of the faith element. So you have wars if somebody, or you have riots if somebody seems to disrespect another religion's holy book or scripture or notions or faith, or you say something. And this is true of all religions, all people. The degree differs, how you react differs, but let's talk about the underlying element. The underlying element is the element of doubt. If we couldn't doubt it, it'd be science. And of course, we could talk about this further and say, does science have more opinion? Does science have more faith? Is there faith involved? Or is it everything is factual? When you fall sick, let's say a doctor has told you this is there, you need a surgery, you need to do that. They say, wait, I'm going to get another medical opinion. We don't say that I'm going to go and get another medical faith. People do say, I don't have faith in this type of healing. I don't have faith in allopathy, or I don't have faith in homeopathy. Different systems of medicine, people may have different opinions about that. So let's understand that when we are talking about these things, when we use these words in our daily life, let's understand anybody can doubt it. Anybody can express a different perspective, different view. Because if they couldn't, then they would be just simple facts. Now, one question I'm going to leave you with is that, why is this important? Why is a discussion on fact facts and opinions and beliefs and faith important? Now, I did ask you to make a list of 50 questions, or you could even do a Venn diagram. Okay, you can make a pie chart and you see where this stands, where your various knowings stand. Okay, when you do that, you will come to some kind of a realization that is your life consists more of facts. Is it driven more by facts? Is it driven more by opinion? Is it driven more by faith or belief? In faith, the emotional element is stronger than belief. Okay, so that's something you take a look. So when let's take a look at our lives, because that's important. How do these things affect us? Do we use these words loosely without awareness? How are we affected? Can we live with only facts? Can we live with only faith? Think about it. We'll have another discussion another time.